Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Tori Kruse Show. You wouldn't believe who I have on today. I have the amazing Sharon Lechter. I am so honored that you're here today with us. Sharon is an internationally recognized financial literacy expert, keynote speaker, business mentor. You've all heard of Sharon. You don't need all this intro, but I'm going to tell you anyways because she's pretty darn impressive and an amazing human. She is a New York Times bestselling author, entrepreneur, 35 years as a licensed CPA. She has amazing books. She's co-authored Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which all of you I know have heard and read. And also she has worked on re-energizing Napoleon Hill books, 3 Feet from Gold, Outwitting the Devil, Think and Grow Rich for Women. Just an absolutely amazing woman who I've had the honor of speaking alongside at some events. And she just feels like home when I see her at speaking events. She's just a beautiful soul. So thank you for being here, Sharon. And I'm so excited to dive in.
I am delighted to be with you, Tori. Thank you so much.
Yes. So, all right. I want to, of course, all those incredible accolades, but we know that there has been quite a journey to get to this place. And so let's just start with really, where did your passion for financial literacy come about?
Well, I grew up in a very lower middle class home, and I lived in a little tiny house between my mom's beauty shop and my dad's used car lot. And we owned rental properties. So I've been a real estate investor, I say, since 10. I was having to go scrub out bathrooms between tenants for my dad. And I swore I never would be an entrepreneur. I wanted to become a sophisticated professional. And so that's why I was first generation in my family to get a college degree. I went to college, got my degree in accounting, became a CPA, started working in hot Atlanta, young and single, one of the first women in public accounting, loved it. But about the right old age of 25, my parents started looking a lot smarter because I realized I wasn't in control of my life. And then I also realized that most people didn't have the kind of education I did, because I grew up in a household where everything was about assets, buying, building, creating assets that generated income. And so I started my entrepreneurial journey at 25, started a woman's magazine, sold that. Then I helped build the talking children's book industry around the world. And we sold that company. And I came to Arizona, and my kids were in high school and middle school at the time. And my oldest son went off to college and came home in December in credit card debt. I was devastated. I was mad at him, but I was more mad at myself. I thought I taught him what I had learned. And of course, we didn't know he had a credit card. He got to school, got to the university, and there was a table with free pizza, free money, another table with free t-shirt, free money. So he had a really good time his first semester in college. Really good time. And then at Christmas time, he came home and said, I'm in credit card debt, and asked us to bail him out. We would not do that. I haven't always made the right parenting decisions, but that was a good one. But that was December of 1992, Tori. And that's when I dedicated the rest of my career to financial literacy. And I'm as passionate about teaching people about how to create personal wealth today as I was in December of 1992. I work on supporting women, on children, on entrepreneurs, anyone that helps and understand the power of real estate, the power of buying, building, creating income producing assets. Way too many people have been taught and learned to work for a paycheck, to exchange time for money. I want them to get rid of that idea and invest their time in buying, building, creating income producing assets that create long-term wealth for them.
Wow. So let's go back to, there's so many little nuggets in all that, but let's go back to when you were 25 and you started the magazine. Where did that come about? Because 25 seems like a very young age to have the ambition and the resources and skill to do something like that. Can you explain that process a little bit?
Well, sure. Well, let me give you the rest of the story. See, I've been around a long time, so there's a lot of my story that I skip over. When I was 25 at practicing, I was in a very, very fast-moving career as a CPA. But one of my clients called me and said, "I'm buying this company out of bankruptcy. I'd love for you to come with me." And I, at the time, was like working ungodly hours and realized that I wasn't in control of my own life. But I went back to my condo in Atlanta, and this was before PCs. I know I'm going to shock a lot of people, before cell phones. And so I had the old yellow legal pad, and I did pros and cons, and I could argue either side because I was I was doing well with my firm, but I also had the opportunity to start owning something and going into on the entrepreneurial way. And so it didn't help me, but my hand kind of took off and wrote across the top of this page, why not? And that today is still my mantra. Why not do something different? Why not take the road less traveled? Why not solve a problem or serve a need? And I've never looked back. And that really has the essence of being an entrepreneur is solving problems and serving needs. And why not do something that no one else has done? Why not support someone and help them create a better life for themselves? And so that passion now, it didn't take me very long after making that decision to go with my client to realize it was a really bad business mistake. I got there and found all kinds of corruption and was really scared to death that I was going to lose my license. I felt like such an idiot. I ran away for about a week to try and figure out what my next step would be. Came back, and the company, because it had been in bankruptcy, was in a bunch of litigation. And they had waited for me to come back to go into my office because they were doing discovery on some lawsuits. And the young man was sitting at my desk going through my drawers, was named Michael Lechter. And that was 42 years ago. We've been married 41 years. And had I not made that horrific business decision, I would not have met my best life decision. And so it really is proof positive. Napoleon Hill says, out of every adversity comes a seed of an equal or greater benefit. My worst business decision gave me my best life decision. So, and I tell people, they say, how did you and your husband meet? I said, he was going through my drawers. Always. It was true.
That's hilarious. You just weren't too specific what drawers you were talking about.
Let the imagination run wild, right?
Oh no, but there's so much truth to that when you make one decision and you don't often know where it's leading to. But how do you make those decisions even now today with your life and business where you don't know, like you're taking a leap of faith and you say, why not? How do you know when it's that point where you say, why not? Because this could be a really great decision for me, or you are hesitant towards your leap of faith. How do you decipher between the two?
Well, and I tell people, instead of taking a leap of faith, take a leap with faith. Because I think faith and confidence comes from experience and from surrounding yourself with the right people. And so I have a group of people, advisors, mentors, people that I work with all the time. People who try to go through life alone aren't going to get to the level of success that they should, because the personal success equation, which I shared in the book 3 Feet from Gold, my first book with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, kind of lines it out. Your first is P plus T, your passion plus your talent. That's all about you, what you care about and what your talent experience is. Now, I was passionate about financial literacy. My passion actually came from anger that we were teaching kids about money in school, plus my talent, many, many years in publishing, many years as a CPA. But most of us stop there, thinking we have to do it on our own. Mm-hmm. But true success comes from that times the power of association. Who's on your team? Do you have people on your team who are strong where you are weak? Do you have the right mentors? Do you have the right resources? Times A, what actions are you taking? And then plus F, and that's faith. That's having that faith and confidence in yourself. Mm-hmm. And it's so important because that F in most of us is fear, and it holds us back. So the why not is my way of triggering people to step outside their comfort zone, to look at their passion and their talent, but also who's around you. Do you have the right people? Do you have people that are cheering you on? Do you have people holding you back, or people that want you to succeed? And are you taking the right action? Or are you waiting for it to come to you? Let's take the bull by the horn and do what you need to get to the next level, and have faith and confidence in yourself. Take that leap with faith. Because when you take a leap of faith, you kind of close your eyes and cross your fingers and jump. No, have confidence that you are on the path you deserve to be. Say, why not take that leap with faith?
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that, with faith. Totally using that from now on. And I've heard you say that a few times, and I still say leap of, but not anymore. It's leap with faith. I love that. So there's a lot of listeners here on my podcast that are stepping out to new ventures. Maybe they're a new entrepreneur or they're really trying to take that next step and find their purpose. But one of the biggest things when you're doing that, of course, is money, right? In finances. And so what would you advise to the people who are really wanting to take that next step in life, but it may be a risk with their finances? How do they know if it's a risk worth taking financially or not?
Well, again, I think having the right mentor, having the right educating yourself about money. I mean, I have a money mastery program that I help people, particularly with this pandemic. I cut the price down to practically nothing so that people could really figure out where they are financially. And I want you to also think about how you can raise the money. All right. People can find the money through other people's resources, other people's time. You can bring people in to work with you that don't need to get paid. They just want a piece of the action later on. All these things, there is always a way to create what you want. You may have, it's not what you do for your paycheck, it's what you do with your paycheck. So you may have a day job, but you can find 5 to 10 hours a week to start building a business on the side that once it gets up and going, maybe it even overtakes what you're making, and so you can leave. So again, don't risk your ability to eat. Find a way to get that sustenance that you need on a daily basis, but to start building that asset. Don't forget the word asset. Assets are sexy. That's what we want you to buy, build, or create asset. Don't get a second job. Don't work overtime. Start building a business that can become an income producing asset for you that can grow and scale.
Yeah. Yeah. That's extremely huge. And I think as a even young entrepreneurship, sometimes that's hard to see at first. Right. And so when was it in your life where you realized that assets are sexy and assets are something that you need to invest in?
Well, that's something that I was truly, truly fortunate. I did not realize that everybody didn't know that because I grew up in a household where that was just the standard.
Yeah.
We would own property that had that might be just land, but it was always an orange grove. My dad always made sure everything had cash flow attributed to it. Rental properties where we had tenants paying us, and then their businesses. My mom's beauty shop where she would bring other people in and she'd make money off of their business, and my dad's car lot. So those are all things that just were part of my DNA growing up. And when I went into public accounting, I started seeing incredible information about how businesses succeeded, but probably even more importantly, how businesses failed. And in seeing that and doing it, I realized how few people actually had proper training on entrepreneurship, how to build a business, how few people understood the power of building that asset and not just building a job. Far too many entrepreneurs, and everybody watching and listening to this, I challenge you. Are you building a business or are you building a job? Because when you're building a job, you'll never be able to have the kind of success you deserve. Build a business so that you can have something that lives beyond you and generates that cash flow that gives you your time back. When I speak to entrepreneurs, Tori, I ask them, when you started your business, did you want a business that you have to work until the day you die? Or are you building a business that will create success and give you your time back? Everybody says this one, right? B. But very few people build it that way. The vast majority of entrepreneurs build that business that they have to work in until the day they die. And that's the shift I want to make. Far too few business owners that are women make over $1 million a year, 4.2%. That's it. Now, the good news is about 7 years ago, it was 1.7%. So it's in the right direction. But that 4.2% needs to be 42%, needs to be, every business owner. And so that's one of my missions in life, is to help women understand the power of building the asset so that they have other people on their team. They're not trying to do everything themselves.
Yeah. And so what is part of that mission of helping women and helping entrepreneurs raise that percentage? What do you do day in and day out where, I know you have programs, you have retreats and all this, but explain to everybody really what Sharon Lechter does every week.
Well, thank you, Tori. Yes, I do a lot of speaking. That's true. But I love the mentoring that I do. I choose to do that now. I've been financially free since I was 38. So I choose to do one-on-one mentoring, high-level mentoring with a few clients every year because it helps fill my heart by doing that. But I also have programs in addition to speaking and working with people. I do right now I'm doing a live real estate program. I have online courses, one that's related to money mastery, and then one that's related to refiring for people who feel like they're in a rut, and then one that's related to playing a bigger game, play big. And that's helping people understand the power of bringing in the right people, of scaling their business, because we want people to be successful. And then, of course, I have all my books I continue to write. So.
Yes, well, and that's a perfect segue into what I was going to ask you. With all of your books that you have, I mean, you can't even pick the best one because they're all so unique and so amazing in their own way. But what would you say is your favorite part of the journey of writing a book, and really what your heart is when you continue to kind of co-author or author these books?
Well, every book is unique and different. And sometimes I write them because I get mad, right? Think and Grow Rich for Women. I was really frustrated with women complaining and criticizing the men in their life all the time, and the number of women that were worried about work-life balance. So I wrote Think and Grow Rich to say we need to change the dialogue. We need to start celebrating each other and supporting each other and celebrating the men who've helped us along the way. Let's focus on the positive, not the negative, and understand that instead of work-life balance, let's seek one big life, because we have our family, our faith, our finances, our fitness, and all of those things come together to be who we are. And so every project I do is somewhat different, and is a why not. Why not solve the problem or serve the need that's in my heart? Outwitting the Devil was an incredible, awesome opportunity for me. It was a book that was written by Napoleon Hill in 1938, right after I released Think and Grow Rich. The title is Scared His Wife to Death, and she hid it away in the vault for 72 years. And so when I had the opportunity to bring that out, I realized how absolutely powerful it was. And I believe there was a higher power at work that was keeping that book from being published, because it is such the right message for what's happening in the world today. And it talks about how fear, and there's lots of different types of fear of poverty, fear of death, fear of old age, fear of loss of love, fear of criticism, which I think is a pervasive one today, how fear holds us back and creates that self-sabotage. And then we talk in the book about how to accomplish it, how to get over it. And first, definiteness of purpose, knowing what your mission is, knowing what your passion is. And as I said, I discovered my passion in December of 92, and it's as strong today as it was then. And that's my passion. That's my driving force. When I have a bad day and I just want to pull the covers over my head, I remind myself of the problem I'm solving and the need I'm serving, and it gives me the courage. It takes it outside of me to get up and keep going. And so it's really important to understand what your purpose is. And then that self-discipline. There are days when, I just want to say, forget it, I'm taking the day off. And just self-discipline is really important, mastery over self, and learning from adversity. Every one of us knows that this road to success is not a straight path, but in today's world, people want success very easily. And it's important to understand they have to work for it. And that learning from adversity, every lesson I have has helped me accelerate to a greater level. And then understanding the power of your environment. Are you putting yourself in the greatest environment? When the pandemic hit, I just couldn't stand all the negativity everywhere. And so I started a program called ATM, my daily ATM, and kind of a pull on a bank deposit, but it's abundance, tips, and mentorship. Every single day, I have a broadcast that I do that really helps you start your day, in essence of putting that abundance mindset in, having a positive attitude and motivation, because I want people to be able to put that cone of protection on them. And so I launched that, and I'm still doing that every single day, 365 days a year, because I want people to have that inner heart to know that I'm there to support you. And I end every single one with the same phrase, and I make you repeat it. I am fabulous. I want you to say it with me. I am fabulous every single day. And So that's been fun. But I think, understanding where you want to go, that power of environment is so important. Are people supporting you, moving you forward, or are they holding you back? And then the essence, the power of time, how you're using your time. And are you spending it or are you investing it? Because the only precious resource we have is time. We can make money, lose it, and get it back, but we can't get our time back. And believe me, at 68, I just turned 68 in January, that one's even more precious than ever for me. So,
yeah. Wow. So one thing that I want to dive into a little bit deeper is something that you said about passion. And, when you, on those days where you don't want to get out of bed and you're, not very motivated to go do anything or go inspire. I mean, even us, right, is very inspiration. Like we love to inspire and help others. It's still hard, right? Even though you are an expert at what you do and you have a heart to just change the world, sometimes you don't wake up like this and you don't wake up on your game. And so when that passion kicks in, that is what drives you. And so oftentimes I feel like some people settle for mediocrity or not their dreams because they're scared of the unknown. But there's something to be said with when you're living in your purpose and your passion, then money will come. And with you being, I would say, the money financial expert, then, how do you find, where do you see that money will come when you're living in your purpose and your passion?
yes, I think when you're adding value, I grew up in a household, as I said, was lower middle class, but my father would ask me every single night, Sharon, have you added value to someone's life today? And it's been 16 years since I lost him, but I still every single night ask myself, have I added value to someone's life today? When you focus on your mission and your purpose and adding value to people's lives, the money will come. When you focus on the money, you lose a little bit of your authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think lead with your heart, lead with your gifts, lead with your talent, and the money will come.
Yeah. Well, Sharon, where can people find you as far as your programs? You have so many amazing things out there with, even your book and retreats and different programs. Where can people find you?
Well, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't even mention that. I love my retreats. We have a ranch here in Arizona, cherrycreeklodge.com, and we host business mentoring retreats there several times a year. We have one coming up soon, and and then I'm also actually hosting a writer's retreat on a private island in the British Virgin Islands. It's just going to be so much fun. But I would invite anybody to reach out to me. info@sharonlechter.com will come to me. And we have my website, sharonlechter.com, has more information about my mentoring and all my programs and books on it. I would invite everyone. In fact, I would appreciate people following me on Instagram, author Sharon Lechter on Facebook, but I'm Sharon Lechter everywhere else. So would love to LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all of them. So not TikTok, I haven't done that yet, but
you know what? I'm not
reach out to us. Yeah, but reach out to us and send me any questions. info@sharonlechter.com. Open invitation to connect.
Well, Sharon, it's just been an absolute joy to be with you today and share this time with you. And I can't wait to be in the same room with you again, especially sharing the stage. You're just a beautiful light in this world. And there's so many people that need your inspiration, your heart. And it's just been so great getting to know you this past year. So thank you for taking the time to come on my show. And until next time, I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Tori. And thank you everybody for watching and listening.